Now then, it's a rainy day. You can probably just about hear the rain on the glass on the roof. I just thought I would just catch up on what's happening in here. I know some of my viewers were enjoying the Home Life in Lockdown series, showing what's going on, but I thought I'd catch up here. And this, of course, is a very old glass house. I'm guessing it's, and this is a vague guess, it was probably built in the 50s, and I bought it, I don't know, probably in the mid 80s, or yeah, about that time. And it was longer than this when I bought it, and of course I had to dismantle it and then repair it and then put it back up. And it is a bit of a labour of love, because each one of these sheets of glass has got a timber frame around it, and although they're very well treated, you know, every 5 years or so I have to go through the whole lot and replace some. But I've got a big stock of old frame timbers and glass, like you would expect. But anyway, carrying on, we have tomatoes, and this is, I think this is Ailsa Craig. They're bombing on. Each of them are in pots, as you can see. This is because we used to grow tomatoes in the bed, but then they started getting a virus, which is what happens apparently. So now I grow them in pots. And this is a tomato called Marmalade that my sister sent me the seeds, and they're cracking on. They're really quite large. Another Ailsa Craig there. They're pretty good. And this one here is Gardener's Delight, which is a cherry tomato. So there we go. Coming round here, we've got the next batch of lettuce. That one is what we call winter lettuce. It's a sort of an all-round, but it doesn't like the heat, so it bolts when it gets the heat. This is another one that I'm just trying, which is called Four Seasons. Well, that sounds like a good name, doesn't it? So I've got great hopes for that, but we shall see. We have the grapes here, and this was, Dave gave me a couple of cuttings back in the 80s, and I just poked them in, and they grew, and as you can see there's quite a lot of grapes. Really, if I wanted to, I'd have to thin these, because some of these are starting to go mouldy. But as I've got older, the grapes tend to upset my stomach, so I don't tend to eat very many of them. We've got chili peppers there, and ridge cucumbers. Yeah, so they won't get much bigger than that, and they've got these little spikes on them, but that's fine. Yeah, and of course the chili peppers, they're just starting to flower. Another Gardener's Delight. Now, I have some vague recollection that you should retain some of the side shoots on a Gardener's Delight, because they give a huge amount of fruit. So I'm leaving that side shoot there, and of course I think I might put a piece of string on that now and bring it up to this cross member here. It's a lump of steel, and it's been there a long time now. Every year it supports the tomatoes. We have a few parsnips here, and at the back there's a couple of extra marrows, or not marrows, pumpkins. They were just surplus, so they've been poked in there. Just got to remember to water them. And there's an extra tomato there that was in a pot, small pot, and I didn't have a big tub, so I poked it in the ground. So we shall see. That's a bit of a test. Here we got some carrot that has gone to seed, so we'll be collecting that seed. Yeah, tall, isn't it? It must be 5 foot tall. Yeah, another gardener's delight, and another gardener's delight. And of course, if you get too many tomatoes, then just put them in a bag and bang them in the freezer. And then they're perfect for stews in the winter. There's a volunteer potato, just happened by itself. Now these lettuce here, I think they were called flashy oak. As you can see, there's that red staining to them. Now they're just about to go to seed, and I think I'll leave a couple of those to set seed if they will. And then these are the winter lettuce, and as you can see, they're going to seed. They've bolted because of the heat. We did have an excessive period of very, very warm weather. So, but that's, you know, you just got to keep successionally planting. These ones round here, we can probably get away with the bottom leaves still, which will be fine. Okay, moving on. There is a Cape gooseberry that my friend Nigel gave me. I know nothing about them really, apart from you plant them and they grow. And that's one of the fruits. And apparently inside that there's a round, I'm not sure if it's marble sized or something, fruit, but I don't know when they're ripe. So anybody who knows about Cape gooseberries, yeah, love to hear from you. So that's grown this year. So that, there you go. Coming round, there's some more of that flashy oak that's just going to start coming to seed or flowering. And this is some winter lettuce that is flowering, so we'll get seed off that. The next lot of winter lettuce, so keep that watered, and we shall be cropping that in about 2 weeks' time. This is a Roma tomato, and it was a load of seed that I got quite a long time ago. It doesn't seem to be doing very well at all. The fruits themselves, I've watered this properly, but oh, they're not too bad now. But that one, you see, there we go, blossom end wilt, that one's alright, and there's another one there. They're plum tomato. I don't know what's going on there. Where are we? There we go, we've got another one with blossom end wilt. But they've been watered regularly. It could have been the heat. Yeah. Now this lot, that's 2 courgette plants. Yeah, and we got flowers, and we've been picking small courgettes. Another Ailsa Craig, it's doing well. Yeah, start removing the bottom leaves as on this Gardener's Delight. And then here we go, we've got some peppers. Yep, they're bombing away. And then a lot of these beds now, and these pots for the tomatoes, next door I've got horses, and so I've got a trailer over there, and they do field picking of the poo, and in the stables, and they stable with shavings. So they just pick the poo out the stables and put it in the trailer, but there is some shavings in there, and that gets left for a year or more, in a big pile, and it is a big pile because there's a trailer full every 2 or 3 weeks. There's more ridge cucumbers there, and so it, it rots down, and it's brilliant stuff. So what have we got here? That's a year's growth. That there, this, and that's a black walnut. That's pretty good, isn't it? I think it probably want potting on. Right, and then coming round to the untidy bench, we have some pine. Can't remember whether I showed you sowing this, but that's a lot of them damp off or rot out at the base, but that's just the way it is. And these ones are now growing on, which is great. And there's some cypress that over the other side of the field, about 30 years ago, we had a huge muck pile. I mean, we're talking, I don't know, 30 foot long and 15 foot high. And anyway, you know, a lot of it got left, a lot of it got used, but then some got left, and it's rotted down over that period. So I go over there, and you've probably seen it again in Home Life in Lockdown, that I riddle that and use it as potting compost. Well, next door to that there is a cypress and a couple of Scots pines, and these are cypresses that have come up in the pots where they've been potting something else on, and I've saved some of them, and there you go. Yeah, and now I've potted them on again, they seem to be bombing on. And this is a couple of Monterey cypress that again I've just potted on, and that's an orange, just because you can. Yeah. So earlier on in the year we did have some carrots down that end that had been sown the previous autumn. So we had fresh carrots in March, something like that, and that's why some of those carrots down there are going to seed, because that's the remnants of that. And then just outside, and it's raining, so just outside here we've got the beans, which are doing remarkably well. Now we get some wet. And down here we've got the next lot of carrots growing on. So there you go. Zoom out. That's some chard and some more parsnip and some carrot, and there's the buddleia. Hope you've enjoyed this little tour. Cheers for now.